Weeding through the bullshit of life. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to start a series on. And I'm actually going to teach some of the stuff that I've learned over my journey in life, which is very unique and has been a hyperspeed since a very young age. Um, what I wanted to talk about today is mindset, our beliefs, exactly what makes us who we are. Getting to our authentic selves, a core selves, ourselves that are hidden from the world or is conditioned to not to be suppressed. So how do I want to begin this is that I want you to take time and think about your life and the conditioning and the beliefs that you have and question why you believe what you believe and find out if it's in alignment with your soul. Our soul is energy. It can't be created nor destroyed as it's always existed since the beginning of time. And yet, also, we all know that the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results. And yet, the world is full of insane people doing the same things over and over again and unconsciously doing things that we probably wouldn't be doing if we weren't conditioned at a young age or by our parents or through generations of conditioning to be who we are and think how we think. Yeah, most people probably don't want to even go down that route. You just kind of go through life systematically. You work, you get a paycheck, you go home, you take care of your kids, you take care of your dog, and then you get up the next day and you do it again. Are you happy? Are you fulfilled? Doing the same thing over and over again in search of your retirement one day, a vacation one day, always living in the future. Yet all we have is the moments of today. And honestly, it doesn't matter what we do in life. It matters who we become in life. And who are you? Are you a good person? Are you a bad person? Are you blaming others? Do you have addictions? What makes you who you are? And are you ready to face those demons that are within you? We all have them. I have them. And sometimes I'm great at facing them, and sometimes I'm not. But being conscious of our actions, my actions, your actions, can actually make us make better decisions over life. We can constantly be on that hamster wheel, doing things over and over again, expecting different results. But we're all insane, obviously, if we go and do the same things over and over again. I stopped watching the news a long time ago. I probably should be watching it because I actually had no idea that the government was shut down. It's kind of sad. I'm kind of unplugged from that. And I need to make a conscious effort. That's one of the things that I personally need to work on. I spent so much time not being conditioned by television and what's going on around me, trying to learn more about my analytical sides, philosophical sides, beliefs, and I'm really much into holistic natural health, that I've kind of tried to separate myself from things that I can't control. You know, like that serenity prayer has really resonated within my soul. Give me the strength to make wise choices and make wise decisions and know the difference of the stuff that I can't, in summary. Obviously, I'm saying it wrong. But ultimately, I want to kind of make us all think about how we think, why we think the things we do, and see where we can make improvements. I know one of the things that I have to work on is discipline, patience, and patience is a huge one in my world. I'm a kind of impulsive, impatient person at times. I'm reactive and not emotionally reactive where I get very angry, but I sometimes live in fear or lack because of the conditioning of my upbringing. And at times there are triggers that kind of bring that out in me. And I think we all kind of can relate on that end. But it doesn't make us any less of a person. It makes us more of an evolved person when we're consciously aware of when we're getting triggered, because they're going to be triggers no matter what. we can't go through life without those little trigger points. If we are living, we've gone through traumatic experiences, happy experiences. There's nobody that's can escape, certain times of depression. I mean, if somebody walks around and says that they're always happy and everything's wonderful and blah, 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 either they found a wonderful miracle happy pill, they're on drugs, or they're in denial. I mean, ultimately, that's exactly what I'm going to say to that. But if we're in tune with our emotions, we're going to be able to be connected with how we do things and why we do things, and consciously make efforts to change. And if you don't want to change, then you're not going to change. I mean, wellness, health, all these things you can focus on. You could be the best person in the world. You can think you are, at least. Have tons of money, but then you're going to be lacking in certain areas of maybe health. Or you could be great in health-wise, but you have no money and you are, not stressed out, because if you have great health, you probably aren't stressed. But it's hard to get that balance. And I think ultimately, as a wellness coach, my job is to kind of help people be balanced and live practice what I preach, basically. And so I'm going to basically relate to you, not to preach to you, but I can help guide you with the tools that I've learned in various aspects. So today we're talking about mindset and beliefs. Exactly. I hope I kind of resonated with you to kind of stop and think about why you do things the way you do. For example, I'm going to give you a personal example within me. I am a single mom. I have 2 boys. I love them to death. But yet I have anger issues when it comes to eating and getting up in the morning. It's as bad as it is I was conditioned as a child to sit at the table, and until I was done eating my dinner, I had to sit at the table. So as a child, I would sit there until midnight. And then if I didn't eat my food, I would get up the next morning and I had it for breakfast. My dad did that. And I believed that I needed to do that for my own children. So I started doing that with my 9-year-old. And believe me, he's as stubborn as I was. And he didn't want to eat the food that I gave him. He wouldn't want to eat his green beans or peas or kale. And I would make him sit there. And we would have a war, basically. And he wasn't going to eat it. And then I realized how angry I was getting. And is it really worth it? I can guide my children to do things, but I can't force them to do things. And I think as parents, we kind of, we want the best for our kids, but we can't make the decisions for them, and it frustrates us. So I can keep reinforcing, yes, I want you to at least try it, but ultimately, as long as he tries it, and even if he doesn't eat it, at least he's trying it. I don't have to be like my dad and make him sit at the table until midnight to eat. Another thing was getting up in the morning for school. My son is like me a lot. He doesn't like getting up in the morning. No matter how hard it is, he's more of a night owl, and he wants to stay in bed and not get up and get ready for school. So every morning I was yelling at him, get up, we need to get out of the house. I can't do this anymore. And he would stay in bed for as long as he possibly could. Well, the other day I decided to be calm and not yell and talk to him gently. And I do energy healing, Reiki. I actually went into his room and I pulled the covers down, talked to him very softly, and I gave him some Reiki. He didn't like it. My hands were cold at the time, and he just didn't want to, get up. But at the same thing, he was in a much better mood. He got up, he got dressed, and it was a much easier transition. So I realized by controlling how I react on certain simple things like that, I could change how, the patterns that I've been conditioned to do. So whether it could be anything from smoking cigarettes to drinking to, impulsively spending or searching on your phone, those are those conscious things where you find yourself going down that patterns. And it could be little triggers like emotional, financial insecurity for one. A lot of us will go spend more when we have less. I've been trying to work on that myself, and definitely much more cautious and conscientious of doing that. That doesn't say I don't eliminate it, but now I second guess myself when I see myself going down that road. And, I'm hoping that by explaining some of my experiences, as well as helping you make conscious efforts within your own patterns, that it will actually help shift your mindset. And by little small steps is what it takes in wellness and in health and any changes in life. We can acquire all this knowledge in life, read all these books. Believe me, I read so many. And if we don't apply it to our day-to-day life, knowledge without application is ultimately useless. It doesn't make any sense. You can acquire all this knowledge, but if you aren't actually implementing it in your life, what's the point? What is the point? So my job as a wellness coach is kind of like an accountability tracker. So if you have any questions and want to know more, you can definitely meet me by my website, www.elisalove.com. You can find me on Instagram, Wellness with Elisa Love, and I'll definitely be able to kind of help and coach and guide you for as much as I possibly can. And if you want to sign up for some free consultation, definitely feel free to reach out.